Okay, guys, come back to the next session. In previous class, what I was discussing is the building the compilers. Okay, that is nothing but some design objectives we were discussing. Okay, and optimization of these compilers we were discussing. Now, the main one more important aspect here is choice of programming languages. Choice of programming languages when we design or develop the compiler. And in fact, compiler is also software. So whenever we develop any software, first thing what we do, we should choose the language in which I should write this develop software, or in which language I should develop this software, right? So here also, I'm going to explain you some different types of programming languages. Okay, so C language in the year 1980s. In the year 1980s, C language was a predominant or most commonly or widely used programming language. Okay, so C language was most widely used or most commonly used programming language in the year 1980s. And in the 1990s, in 1990s, people started to use C++, which is object oriented language. Okay, so in the year 1990s, whatever the projects were developed, those almost all majority of the program projects were developed in a C++. And in 1995, Java was invented and started to use. The Java programming language was introduced in the year 1995, and also it was also most commonly or widely used programming language. It got its importance or popularity in late 90s. It means that after 1995 to 2000. Okay, actually it was introduced in 1995, but from 1995 to 2000, it took almost 5 years to become a popularity, to get a popularity. Okay, it was also most commonly or widely used programming languages. Now, how we are uh, choosing the programming languages year by year or generation by generation, the new programming languages, why we are adopting these new languages, why they are also getting so much popularity, because of some advancement in those programming languages, because of some advanced features in that programming languages, correct? So earlier we started to use a C program. Before that C program, Fortran, COBOL, so many other previous programming languages we have already used, right? So I started from C language in the year 1980s. Okay. So then in 1990s, after 10 years, we started to use C++. And after 5 years, we started to use Java. So even today, Java is a very popular programming language, right? Programming language. So now, why we started to use this one? Because of some new features, new added features in these programming languages, correct? So these new programming language features, they will they will encourage they will encourage new research in this compiler optimization. Okay, so this is the main reason why research is going on in a compiler optimization. It means how best we can optimize the code as well as the compilers. Okay, because there is a new features are being added to our programming languages. So since new features are coming into our programming language, means what? Compiler also should be updated accordingly, correct? So because of that only, there is a research or there is a study, there is a so many works are going on this compiler optimization. Okay, so almost all common programming languages, including this Fortran, COBOL, or C, these all programming languages which are commonly used, they will support user-defined data types. Already we know this fact, because in C language, I think you have studied the structures topic. There, apart from int, float, double, char, okay. So apart from these, there we can use user defined data type also there. That is nothing but, I think you know how to define the structure. Their name of the structure you can write below the definition of this structure or declaration of this structure, and you can use that name of the structure also as a user defined data type. I think you remember it, right? So these all most commonly used programming languages where there are no C, Fortran and COBOL. So these all programming languages were started to support user defined data types. This is one new feature, correct? So maybe earlier these programming languages, there may not be this facility. Okay, only we could, I think we might have used only uh, the default inbuilt data types, not user defined data types. But these languages supported user defined data types like arrays and structures and high level control flow. They also supported high level control flow of data or flow of control from one point to another point. I know, I think you know very well how, if the condition is false, where the control jumps. This, if the condition is true, where the control jumps in the control statements also, as well as in looping statements also. Okay, so they support high level control flow such as loops and procedure invocations like call by value and call by reference. So this type of control is moving around your program. It is control is jumping from one location to another location, or one line to another line, or one place to another place. So these all control flow, okay, control flow as well as the data types, these all are supported by these most commonly used programming languages. Next type of programming language is object oriented programming languages. So this object orientation was first introduced in the year 1967 in the language Simula, which is object oriented programming language. Okay, so object orientation means what? Orientation, dependent upon what? Object orientation is nothing but object oriented concepts, inheritance, data abstraction, polymorphism, so many things are there. So these object oriented concepts in object oriented programming was started to use. Okay, and these object orientation or object oriented programming was first introduced in the object oriented language, that is Simula, in the year 1967, and slowly it was adapted to next languages called Smalltalk. Next, slowly object oriented programming or object oriented concepts were introduced in C++ and C sharp, and slowly Java. Okay, like this, year by year, generation by generation, these facilities, object orientation was added to these all programming languages since from last 1967. Okay, the main key ideas or main key um, uh, the purpose behind this object orientation was, it means that the main advantages, plus points of these object orientation was data abstraction. So why we started to use these object oriented programming languages? Because already you know, so there are so many facilities are there compared to your procedure programming language, procedure oriented programming language, C, C language, right? So the main reason for this object orientation was data abstraction. Data abstraction means what? Providing only that information which is very, very essential and hiding the remaining information. Okay. To whom you are providing? To the public world. Okay. Providing only the essential information to the outside world and hiding the other information. Okay. So then one more idea or one more benefit of this is inheritance of properties. Inheritance is there. So many other object oriented concepts are there. Okay, so both of these data abstraction and inheritance are very easy to maintain. Then object oriented programs are different from those written in the many other languages. Definitely other languages are nothing but procedure oriented programming languages and so many other kind of programming languages are there, like markup languages for HTML and all those things for web development. Okay, so these object-oriented programs are different from other programming languages. Object-oriented programs, object-oriented programs like programs written in C++, Java, Python, or C Sharp. These programs, they will contain n number of procedures or many number of procedures or more number of procedures, but these procedures are smaller in size. Okay, remember, object oriented programs use more procedures, but those procedures, individual separate procedures, are smaller in size. Now the question is, what are these procedures? Procedures are nothing but functions. Okay, functions, if you write in object oriented programming language, and particularly when you write the function inside a class, and if that function is using objects of that class, then that function is usually, we call them as a methods. So this is the main difference between methods and functions. The methods are also functions which are written in object oriented programming language or object oriented program. Okay, particularly these methods are dealing with the classes and objects. Okay, next I come to Java. Okay, I discuss more about Java. Java has many features. It has many features. Java has many features. What these features do? These features are characteristics of Java are making that Java programming easier. It means that in Java we have so many facilities. Because of that facilities only, we feel that Java is very easy for us. Okay, so in these facilities, some facilities were already introduced in our earlier programming languages like C Sharp and C++, Smalltalk, Simula. But when Java was invented, some additional features are also added to this Java, and this all set of features made this Java easier to learn or easier to programming in. Okay, then the Java language is a type safe. Type safe means what it is? Its meaning is any object cannot be used as an object of unrelated type. Unrelated type. It means one type of object can communicate with the same type of object there. Okay, so that object cannot communicate with another type of object. So they are type safe. Same type of objects will communicate. Okay, so these all same type of objects are gathered together inside a class, right? Then a Java has no pointers. Remember it. In interviews also you may be asked. Java has no pointers. Okay, and because of this, they do not allow us to perform pointer arithmetic operations. Okay, Java has no pointers, so because of that, they will not allow us to do pointer arithmetic operations. And it has a built-in garbage collection. It means that, so unwanted data, you no need to remove or delete manually. So Java has a built-in option for it, built-in garbage collection. What it does? Automatically frees the memory of variables. Earlier, some variables were taking some memory, and those variables are not at all using right now. They are not belonging to any particular program now. Okay, these variables are not at all in a use, then that memory is waste there. The data which is stored in these variables are not using anywhere, then that data should be removed or erased. So this is not be done by manually or by the programmer or a user. Java has it as a built-in option. Clear? So because of that only I told you here automatically is it frees the memory. So it is built-in garbage collection. It is also one newly added feature to our programming language, that is Java. Then while all these features make this programming easier, what all those benefits or features which are newly added to Java just now I told you. Okay. One is Java is type safe, and the Java has no pointers, and Java has a built-in garbage collection. Some of these three features just now I discussed. Apart from these, there are other many features are there, definitely, obviously. So among these all features, some of the features were already present in our previous programming languages. Some are newly added to Java. And these all features together, they are making Java easier programming language. Okay. So when these all features make this programming easier, these features get a runtime overhead. It means that, it means that, so because of these all features, it takes a long time to run or execute. The programming, writing a program is easy because of these added new features. But the same added new feature is negatively impacting from one more side. That is, this program, whatever you have written in Java with by using these all facilities or features, it may take some longer time or it may take some more time to execute or run comparative to other programming languages. Okay, I'm not telling that completely it takes almost 5 minutes or 10 minutes to run or execute. Comparative to other programming languages, the Java programs take somewhat small, little more time to run. Okay, then compiler optimizations. Okay, compiler optimizations is nothing but indirectly I'm talking about code optimization. If code optimization is already done, then now I can talk about only compiler optimization. Okay, this compiler optimization is nothing but the compiler's attempts or compilers efforts to make the code optimizable or to run the program fastly. Okay, that is I am calling it as compiler optimization. Okay, instead of calling it as code optimization. Indirectly it is code optimization, but I am using the word compiler optimization. So this compiler optimization have been developed to reduce the overhead. See, so here overhead was introduced. Okay, in this point I am talking. Why overhead was introduced? Overhead is nothing but excess time to run. Okay, so this is a negative point or a disadvantage of Java. Then how to overcome this one? By compiler optimizations, by optimizing the compiler. So by doing so, the compilers, whatever we are using for compiling the Java programs, they reduce this overhead. Okay, they are reducing the overhead. For example, how these compiler optimizations are reducing the time taken to execute or run the Java programs. What are those compiler optimization steps, sir, which are making the Java compilation or execution time uh, less or Java program execution faster? So those optimization steps are elimination of unnecessary range checks. Range checks. It means maybe the Java is checking the range of some data types or anything. So these range checks is taking some amount of time. And if you really don't want that range check, then it is unnecessary. You remove that or you eliminate that unnecessary task, which is range checking. Then This range checking elimination is done by compiler optimization only. So this step is nothing but it is a compiler optimization. Then it means that you are making the compiler faster. You are improving the performance of compiler by taking this step. Okay. Then one more way is to make the compiler fast is allocating objects. Allocating objects which are not accessible beyond a procedure. Okay. Beyond a procedure on the stack instead of the heap. Usually Java, what happens? It uses a heap. For what purpose? To store some objects, which are not accessible beyond the procedure. Of course, the objects which you have defined inside a procedure or inside a method or inside a function, these objects have local scope. Okay, so I call them as a local objects. So some objects which are global, the objects which are global, those objects I want to store somewhere like a heap. Okay, so now onwards, instead of using a heap, now onwards I store those objects on a stack, because stack is faster than heap. Allocation or insertion of such type of or storing such type of objects on stack is taking less time comparative to heap, storing the objects on heap. So this type of steps, by taking this type of steps or decisions, we can optimize the compilers. Okay. So this is about applications of compiler technology. Okay. So first one is implementation of high level programming languages. Inside that only we are mainly focusing on what type of or which programming languages we have to choose, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of these programming languages we discussed. And based on the application and based on your requirement, you can choose any of these programming languages. In fact, I started from C, C++, C Sharp. Then I came to Java. I discussed plus and minus of these all programming languages. That is pros and cons. That is advantages and disadvantages. Okay. So based on your requirement, based on the requirements of your application, you can choose the programming languages. Among these all programming languages, any one of those programming languages you can choose. Okay. So now I stop my session today here. In the previous class also, just now whatever I explained, you please go through those all topics. Okay. In the next class I go to next topic. And just remember, this main topic, applications of compiler technology, is not yet completed. Only one subtopic is completed now. Applications of compilers, where we can use application of compilers in high level programming languages. Okay, so these only I have discussed now. Now in the next class, I discuss one more subtopic, that is 2.5.2. Okay, so see you in next class. We can leave the meeting now.